Good evening, everyone. Hey, how's it going out there? Well, you're all pulling through it. Um, Great things happening. Hi, Linda. Love you, girl. Hang in there. We're getting closer. um, get right to it. Um, what I wish to get right to is the multi-dimensional abilities that you were given, but also a message, a divine message perspective I received today that is very important about when we speak about the quantum financial system and how this may occur for you, for us, for all of us. To let's say you are familiar with a new monetary system for us, and you know the full dynamics of that may be confusing for some, but to try to keep it relatively simple, I will use an analogy and uh, perhaps some simplified ways of saying it. So, first, you have been given multidimensional abilities, meaning that you can transcend time and space with these physical vessels upon doing enough of your inner work and strengthening your energetic fields, getting rid of the fear and negative aspects. As you got rid of those, they empowered you up enough that I am feeling and hoping that enough of you are up there high enough with mastering these aspects to easily slip into another dimensional overlay we will be putting here upon the surface, which is connected to what we call the QFS, the quantum financial system, which is accessible through your multi-dimensional abilities. Now, to have a quick analogy of how this could work for you, for instance, I will say that there is a street where you live. For example, if it's in the city, it doesn't matter. This is just giving you an example of how it may work here, what I was given today. So let's say you live in a city, that you have a certain street. Let's say on that certain street that there are all houses when you're in the 4D. But let us say that now you're no longer restricted to the 4D, that on that same street, when you are in the 5D, you may drive along that street and one of those houses could be a bank. Now, this is important to understand that on that street, where there were only houses before, there would be a sort of a bank or a financial institution. Now, let me also say that there would be only certain ones of you that could access that, and it would be most of you that are part of what we are and where we're going. So, heaven said, a normal unawakened human could drive along that same street and not see a bank. It would be a house to them. But for you, you could drive along that same street and it be a bank of sorts where you will do your transactions. Um, what is occurring is that there are certain already banks that are already here are being transitioned in to facilitate the quantum financial system. But what is going to occur is that even though you know where they are at now, others that are not linked to this will not know they are there. It simply will not be part of their reality. So I'm trying to keep this as simple as I can. So you are going to be temporarily, is what I'm given, able to access 2 dimensions, 4D and 5D. Your money will come from the 5D to assist you in your divine work while in the 4D. So there's going to be, the 5D is going to be integrated into the 4D, but you have your abilities to go back and forth, and these are your multi-dimensional abilities. But also with this, what we are seeing, and this is why it gets tricky, and why many of you have been given the instructions of what to do to be prepared for this time, and all of the teachings that's been shared with you, and everything you've been taught to do, and everything that you receive via your own messages to do to be prepared for this time. So there was a definite reason, there is a definite reason, as you know it, or you just would not have did everything you did, and you would not be here, you know, where you're at this time. So having said that, again, the thing is, what it's looking like, the Father has told me it's imminent, the reset of currencies, and, you know, this transition into the higher timelines, and we are part of it. And you guys watching this, as I said, for the most part, we have access to that, and we will. So again, it's looking like, by what is also playing out in the 4D with Trump and what's going on there, that everything is indicating that yes, it is going to be the reset of currencies, setting everything back to zero. But then also it's looking like that there is going to be a new one world currency. And for us, on the higher dimensions, money is not going to matter to us, because once you're part of that quantum financial system, you have a card that is linked in to an unlimited supply of money that you will use in the 4D doing your divine work, if you can look at it that way. Now, this, let me say, money does not matter for us, but to facilitate your divine work while you are here, you'll be given sort of an expense account, that you are not connected to the planetary monetary system, that you are actually connected to another monetary system, which it does not run out. But also there is discipline and responsibility that comes with this. So having said that, this is not a free run for all go and buy a whole bunch of material things, and no, it's not that at all. This is something quite different and very important, and it's the reason why you are here. So those of you that know your multidimensionals or properties or abilities are working enough, this is what many of you may be entering here in the very, very near futures. It could also, by the 29th of January, this also could be the time. And I'm also given that by the end of March, many things will have changed here, and that we will re-look at things that some of us may be going at that time. I say may, or there could be other things at play. But what I will say is that what I'm given is that things are not really written in stone yet. The only thing I can concretely say, what I received from Father, is that yes, it's imminent, that there is going to be a currency reset in this quantum financial system. In some respect, is going to be integrated within us. And Anthony Whelan, he referred to this a few times here in the recent past. So this is to give you a little bit of heads up to know if your timeline's outside may be changing, to know this is what's going on, and to just have a heads up that it could be coming very shortly. And also in the US, it could be, let's say, coming by the 29th. We'll see what the speech is there with Trump, but all of those indications, as well as any of you can see, is that it's not politics what's playing out with Trump, because if you're to look at politics, you would see that it defies everything with it, that there is something else going on. And there's something else that is going on is what all of you and us have been saying for a long time. If you're to put the pieces together by what the alternative news has told you in the reset of currencies, what you will see is everything that Trump did is fully in line with that. And if you were to look at regular mundane politics, you will see that it doesn't really fit. It wavers. What Trump did, it makes no sense, because it's aligned for this 4D of what we're doing. So again, all indications from these timelines is saying that it's a go. Some of the intel, some of you have been receiving on, the RV for several years, a very lengthy time, I know, but it's looking like now it's here. And, some of the more prominent sources are saying it is so. Also, again, I remind you that you may notice some of your banks, ones that you have been visited, are going through renovations, or even things with their ATMs as well. So there are lots of signs for you to watch, to see. And so I wanted to share that important message with you, that it could be here right now in the matter of days. So, we'll keep everyone in touch, and a lot of you, as you get information, share it, and with the downloads as well. And, we don't wish to speculate nor go by conjecture. We need concrete information on this. We need it documented for us so that we can fully ascertain, that it's here, and that it is so. So we don't want to be speculating. And as you know, one thing I don't do is I don't say, okay, it is going to be here by March or January 29th. I only give out what I'm divinely given in respect to dates. And I also say, if it's not confirmed by Father, I let you know that it's just what I feel. So it is confirmed by Father. It's imminent. I will say that. And what I am feeling, which is not fully confirmed, is that it could happen as early as the 29th, or perhaps by the end of March. So within this time span, things are going to happen very quickly. I would rather go with, let's get it done by the 29th of January. I know all of you are by the end of the month, so let's see where we're at with it. Now, having said that, I'm not going to leave the full cat out of the bag, but what I will say, there is perhaps one of the most important interviews that Linda will be sharing with you yet that will occur next Wednesday. So keep tuned and keep your eyes on that. I'm not giving you any more information, but let's say that's a huge game changer as well. And as far as I know, I will be also maybe on that one. So we'll see what takes place. So very good things coming up. And let me say again, all of this is real. We know it, and it's beautiful magic, and we have even more magic to share with you. The dragon aspect. If Pamela, if you're on here, Pamela Johnson, she's amazing and watches, keeps, tabs on the space weather and the planetary grid and these sort of things. It's amazing when I'm starting to see in the space, we look on the space weather channel, is that, we watch the sun because we are connected also to that. And what I'm starting to see, I looked at it tonight, it looks like two eyes coming, and it looks like it might be a dragon face coming. And for any of you that have followed that, you know that you cannot deny nor refute the sun images we get. Like, Pamela will tell you, hey, on Halloween, we get the NASA picture of the sun, and here it looks like a pumpkin. And, at other major times, we have what looks like Mother Mary in it. And, they coincide with dates, but also right in the sun that there are many messages, and they coincide perfectly with events that are occurring upon the planet at that time. So it's a very, it's an utmost credible source as well to get confirmations of what's occurring, and to also let you know it's divinely orchestrated. So, we have the pictures of the sun, and we have in the skies, your pictures of angels, dragons, your ships in the night. These are irrefutable signs, and they're not fabricated by anything lesser than divinity. So again, we know that. And we know that this is not make believe, it's not imaginative, it's very real. So having said that, there's a lot of stuff, mundane 4D stuff playing out, and what I refer to as mundane 4D stuff is the public, the rest of humanity and the populace that is, a lot are not awakened. They're being very pressured this time, and it's causing uprising, globally, everywhere. So that is being taken care of. That is part, they need to be awakened to implode the rest of the systems as well, to the degrees that it is needed. But let me say that there is also a separation between you, put you up here, between you and this 4D reality. So there is a separation with that. And also, it's good, having said that, you are the way showers and the most powerful to keep creating the new realities void of everything that was in the 4D that was of ill intent. So anything less than sharing with all, equality for all, and harmony, anything less of that, we don't want in the new 5D that we are creating. What we are actually going to be on a temporary, as a temporary measure, we will be overseeing the activities of 4D but you will be empowered beyond human, as many of you already now know, to be able to go down into that 4D to assist and tweak things up when you need to. So keep all of you, I suggest, don't get caught up in the drama on the news and that stuff. Keep away from any of the news stations that you feel makes you tired or drains your energy. Reserve your energy at this time. Don't expend it towards any of the negative things. Keep your energy in your bubble and keep it projected. Do the good things, you know, the magical realities we wish. So that's important. The dragon energies, again, very powerfully being integrated within many of you, and you are seeing the effects of that as well. You are getting material confirmations that it is so, and much more. So that's still being integrated as well, and that's so important because that is also going to allow you to, as from a higher angel aspect, to tweak up certain things and beliefs and to transcend times where dragon energies were utilized as well to tweak things up where we need to. But also it is Hung shared with us, dragon energies are very powerful destruction and creator energies. So the dragon energies are assisting in destructing the old, but also creating the new as we are. So everything that we do is with is with good intent, and there is no ill intent involved with us. And it's always for good reasons and good measures. And again, we all have a mission here. That's why we are here. That's why all of this is even happening, is because we do need to change things. And we are doing that from a higher angelic place. And that's also why you're getting your gifts. And you know, we are in the unprecedented times, and as many of you know, if you were to look back in your known history, that you would not see any of this back there, and that's because it was not there, any of what you are and what we are. We are in the times now of great unity and important unity to come together to create the new. So again, it was all ordained to be this way, and each one of you were led this way, as you know, as well as I was when I was awakened here. Everything was divinely orchestrated, and again, you know, we have what you would consider really little free will to what you are to do. You have choices, yes, but to, let's say, we don't get our free will fully until we get, you know, out of here. We have a mission to achieve, and at this point in time, many of you realize that and know that it is so. So some good things, you know, currently happening. A quick thing by Jordan Sather. He put out today an article about mainstream media downsizing a bit, more or less, because they're not supported like they were before. So that's more so a 4D thing, where we see the transition to the alternative news. What the dark side would call the conspiracy theorists or whatever, we see that actually becoming more dominant, because it is the truth, the conspiracy facts. So what they labeled the conspiracy theorist at this point in time, there's just been too much facts that now it adds enough credibility to the alternative news to say that no, it is correct. And many are realizing that the other news is actually the fake news, because we're in that part of the transition, and it's very great to see that being a part of the reality as well, because it's part of the transition. Yeah, you know, where all the lies and the corruption and the actual what actually the elitists and the money and all of that, what it was doing is all being disclosed, and the public are, yeah, just fed up being the slaves and what they were. So that realization is coming to many. Many are awakening daily to that. And I guess I should say moment by moment to moment, and just no more. So we know we have succeeded in changing the 4D, but we have that major job also creating our 5D level so that we can slip into while we're still here assisting the lower levels. So many of you teachers out there, you know, that have been assisting so many from donations, you know, doing your best not to get caught up too much in the monetary system. Again, this quantum financial system that a lot of you will be able to slide into, continue doing your divine work, but supported from another way that you don't need to rely on the 4D system for the money. So I am fully hoping that that comes, you know, very soon for many of you, because I know what it was like struggling. You know, you're trying to do the best from the good of your heart and assisting others, and I know because of, you know, so many of you powerful ones, you found it very difficult to charge anyone that, you know, you were able to accept the donations for assisting them, which was good, that kept you going. But I know it was very difficult for many of you. So I'm hoping that you will all be shortly accommodated and appeased with what you need financially to continue assisting others if you're to do that. So I'm not making I am not saying fully that it is so. What I am saying is that I am hoping and feeling that that is what's coming, because you do need to be accommodated. And counsel and Father, what I'm in touch with, do know this, that, you know, there comes a time when enough is enough, right? But also, you know, we can't readily make demands of the divine plan. You know, you must speak your truth in your connection with Father, Mother, God, and whatever other connections you have. But again, I feel very shortly here in the very near future, we will be appeased, and hopefully that's by the quantum financial system, where you're up and operating and fully funded. So we have several things going on. So if the reset of currencies occur, well, then you have all the humanitarian projects are funded by money already here. You know, like you look at your Zim bonds, your Dong, and the dinar, and, you know, many of these other currencies, the rupee, and well, it'll all be set, you know, pretty well to zero with that. Yeah, most of you know how that works, so I don't need to get into that. So the main thing is, yeah, let's keep creating. Many of you are manifesting, and in the last, let's say, several weeks, you see you are manifesting much more than ever before. So this tells you now is the time to not put your thoughts in manifesting little things for yourself, but to combine all your thoughts in manifesting this good, free 5D, because that's what brings it into fruition in your quantum financial system. Pay no attention to the protests and the lower things. We need you, the stronger angels, to keep your thoughts high up in creating and building this 5D, because that brings it right down to us the more you do that. So that is important. Go about your business and keep your thoughts up there that you're just playing a role here until we get this integrated and anchored, and know that you are part of it. Keep imagining you anchoring this quantum financial system into your now, that you have access to it, and just keep imagining that you're anchoring many doors to this other dimension into your reality. So it's very important to do that as well, because then you're applying your creator abilities to creating access for you to these dimensions where your financial concerns will be alleviated. So it's important for you as sub-creators to assist in this overall unity creation. I have not yet. I wanted to get into more divine, the divine gifts. The last interview I did with Linda, I had anticipated writing more up and giving you a little bit more of how to utilize these divine gifts and how to apply them. But let me say, divinely, that is put on hold yet. So hopefully, again, in the near future. And what I will give you as well, the last interview that I did with Linda, that there was much more at that time I could have said as well, but it was divinely kind of kept back for reasons, that I didn't fully ask why, but I know there is always a reason for everything. I don't question things like that because I am part of the divine plan, and I know that everything is divinely perfect when I do it, when we do it. So perhaps more of that to come here in the very near future. So yeah, I touched on there, touched on pretty well all that I wish to touch on at this time. Very interesting times. If you're feeling negativity out there, it's coming from the 4D, from the rest of the masses, the populace. If you're able to just keep in a bubble, do not exert your energy. That way it'll keep you stronger. I know I'm playing a big role in this because I've been transmuting much energy. I was inside of Betsy, like in a cocoon there for about 2 days, just feeling it all outside, and said, no, I'm not moving, and not exerting any energy, not interacting with outside, only certain, ones of like-minded with them in them few days, and just letting things outside, play the course that they had to go, and not integrating, not interjecting any of my light out into the negative and pressured populace, the tension out there. And I didn't want to do that, and I suggest for none of you to do that, because where you are beacons of light and you go out and walk into that negativity, what you're actually doing is prolonging what needs to happen, because you begin to raise that vibration. So you need to keep your shields up if you do go out, and don't let any of your light seep in there. Just do your business, play your role. Don't exert any of your divine energy, because if you do, it only prolongs it. It's along the same principles as I spoke before. Like, don't send your love to war-stricken areas and these sort of things, because when you do, you're more so the one that is perpetrating it. You are empowering them to a certain extent, and you're keeping it alive. And many of you will see, like over the last, let's say, last couple years, when you did not put energy and focus on, like in Vietnam with the missiles, that very quickly it played out. Here's Trump and Jong, sending love letters. So, we all together looked at the bright side of it and did not amplify the dark sides of any protests or wars. So, but with the protests, we need them to play out the way they are, and we don't wish to lighten any of that. So, yeah, the feedback here, looking at, most of your questions, many's in the same place, can barely tolerate society, Heather's saying. And yeah, keep connected to each other. You isolate yourself, but it's good to keep connected with your like-minded and keep your vibration up to where you need it, and just stay in your cocoon while it's all playing out, and observe it for the most part. So don't exert your energy. Some of you may be called out there to divinely task, but again, don't exert your energy if you don't need to. So, great. Well, that was long-winded again, wasn't it? 37 minutes. So much to say, but nevertheless, so here we are, and let's see what occurs here in the near future. I see, Michelle, you answered about you asked about cryptocurrencies. Really, these are transitional monetary things. With the cryptocurrencies, we really, what I had seen occurring with that is that as soon as you had the banks going in and buying a lot of that was to control those again. And what we actually need is something like a quantum financial system for us to do our work that is above the banks. Until the banks are taken completely out of the picture, as they were with the greedy elite, and then no, anything that they're part of, like cryptocurrencies, anything with banking and anything with investing, no. Just I suggest for all of you just to stay away from it right now. That you won't need it at this point. Also, I am going to make this suggestion or statement, and this is the first time ever. Any of you in the stock markets at this time, I suggest for you to give it very good consideration at perhaps withdrawing quite a bit of that, because the collapse also will be imminent. But if you do have that, take some of it out. You can have perhaps some alleviation until we get into the other currencies. So just feeling that for now. It may not matter if a week's time everything changes, but I'm only saying this because I'm not really given a time. It might be the end of March. So just saying that as well. But each one has to do what resonates with you in your guidance on that. And yeah, Ariel about the ships. Very funny. I asked Father last night. I said, Father, can I land the ships? Father says, yes. But then I stop and I say, Father, may I land the ships? And he says, no, not yet. So very comical. So be precise in, what you ask for, and in any of your wording when you're manifesting little things. So great. And hi, Danny. Danny got the crowns up here. Yeah, we had a crown appeared in the light outside a while ago. Helen had took a picture of it, light projected out here, and as you can see the background, Danny did some more painting. Turn it a little bit. Yeah, you got some more beautiful stuff put up there. And picture of a wolf, and so very very beautiful the background she has there. So very thank you, Danny, for that. So anyhow, yeah, cocooning, just existing. Yeah, I'm just existing here now as well, just waiting for further divine instructions. So we are in a waiting period, everyone. So just sharing that with you. I'm just laying back here, waiting as well for new instructions. So good. So with that, peace. All kinds of them winks again, because it's coming. Father says it is, and much love to you, and thank you so much, and have a great evening. You're welcome.